Inverse here, we want to remember switch x and y. And we're going to pay attention to this fact. This is basically just saying that x is less than or equal to 0. So we're only looking at the negative side of this graph. If I were to just quickly sketch this graph, it's a quadratic, so it's a U shape. And it has a vertical stretch of 3, and it went down 2. So it's going to be right here, and it's going to have a vertical stretch of 3. So instead of going over 1, up 1, I'm going to go over 1, up 1, 2, 3. So this is what this graph would look like. But if I'm only concerned with when x is less than or equal to 0, I'm only graphing this part right here. So this is not going to be what I'm graphing. So you're going to see that's going to come back up later at the end of my explanation of finding the inverse. So let's go ahead and switch x and y. So x goes here and y goes here. And we're going to solve this for y. So x plus 2 equals 3y squared. Divide by 3. Don't try to square root it yet. You're not ready to square root because that 3 is still there. You need to get rid of it first. So this, remember there's a ninja 1 right there. So this is really 1/3 x, and this is 2/3 right here. So you can split this up. So this is 1/3 x right here, and plus 2/3 equals y squared. And now I'm going to take the square root of it. Technically, when we take the square root, we would put a plus or minus out here. And so we'd have one square root graph that goes one way, this way, and one that's reflected, that's negative, that's reflected vertically, and it goes this way. So if we were graphing it, we'd have one that's kind of going that way, like a normal square root, and then we'd have the negative one would be going that way, and that would create that whole parabola. But we just said we're only going to be looking at this negative side. So I'm not going to be looking at that side, and I don't want the plus part of this square root. I just want the negative part of this square root. And the only reason I know that is because the domain is indicated in the original problem. So the inverse equation is f inverse of x, or put that in place of your y, equals the negative square root of 1/3 x plus 2/3. It doesn't look pretty, but that is what it is.